What's up, my hidden tokens? Welcome back. Today we are discussing Superman, the movie. I just came back from seeing it in theaters. I actually had a really good time watching this movie. I went to see it with my kids, and they really enjoyed this movie. And I wanted to talk about it and give my opinions, thoughts, and opinions on this movie. Now, just to let y'all know, there will be some spoilers in this, so if you haven't seen Superman yet, you might want to click away. But we are going full deep dive into this, so I'll give you some time to think about that if you want to watch the rest of this video or not. All right, moving on. So this Superman was written and directed by James Gunn. This time around, though, we do not have Henry Cavill starring Superman. He was replaced this time by none other than David Corenswet. Now, going into this movie, I didn't have that much of a high expectations. I didn't think I was going to like it that much. I didn't think I was going to hate it that much. I'm sure a lot of people felt the same way. I was actually just like in the middle, in between. But I know that they were going to do something good. They were going to try to do something because this is coming off the back of Man of Steel, and Man of Steel is possibly the best Superman movie I've ever seen. So this time around, we have Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, and we have Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Let me just say this one thing. I will say this. I think that the two of them did a great job in their roles. I feel like, Rachel was a great Lois Lane. She did her job really well. She knew what she was there to do, and she acted the part very good. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor probably is the best Lex Luthor they've done so far, and up to date. I think he did a really good job playing the villain, playing the antagonist, the guy who just wants to get rid of Superman. He can't stand him. He don't like him. He's like Kendrick Lamar. He just can't stand him for whatever reason. He hates everything about him. So this movie is not going into the origin story, as you all probably know this already. It just dives right in. It gives you Superman. Everybody knows who he is. He's the alien from another world. He's there to protect or he's there to destroy. For right now, everybody is praising him as this being that's just there to save them, and everybody loves him, and Lex Luthor can't stand that. So this Superman throws you right into the fray. This one goes right into the universe. Everybody knows who Superman is already. Everybody loves him. He's that hero that's there to save everyone. Now, if I was going to compare Superman Man of Steel to this Superman, I will say that Superman Man of Steel is still my favorite Superman movie up to date. If we're not going back to like the 90s with, Christopher Reeves and all that, this Superman was good, but it just didn't live up to my expectations of what Man of Steel was. Man of Steel was just a great movie. It really, did the origin of Superman very well. So if we were going to compare the two movies, that of the Man of Steel and this Superman, I will say that the Man of Steel is still my favorite Superman movie up to date. If we're not going all the way back into the 90s with like Christopher Reeves or anything like that, I will say that Man of Steel is still my favorite Superman movie of all time. I really like David Corenswet Superman. I feel like he was a really great guy. Like he did a great job. He had a great personality. He was happy. He was smiling. He was more uplifting than Henry Cavill Superman. I feel like Henry Cavill Superman was a little bit more dark, a little bit more. You don't want to mess with me. I'm Superman. I will hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I like that. Like I feel like my adult side likes the darker version of Superman. Meanwhile, David Superman, he's just more friendly. He's saving everybody. He's there to save people. He's there to do what he feels like his parents sent him to Earth to do. Am I mad at that? No. I feel like that's a great dynamic. I feel like, they're trying to change it up a little bit. They're trying to make him a little bit more like the old-fashioned Christopher Reeve Superman, which is fine. And I feel like what they were trying to do is fine. I feel like this coming off the back of Man of Steel, it's a little bit rough because Man of Steel was kind of like a more darker movie than this. This movie kind of, they was trying to make a Superman, 2 is basically what they were trying to do. But they called it Superman. If they had called it Superman 2 and was, continuing it off of Man of Steel, saying that this was like, the sequel of Man of Steel, just a different actor, I would have taken it. I would have been like, hey, you know what? I got it. I can deal with that. That's fine. But to call it Superman, you're basically trying to make it the origin of Superman, or you're trying to just make it the first Superman movie, and it's like it just didn't feel right. It didn't sit right in the lore of Superman. Like it felt okay as action wise, and the villain and everything. They really kept true to the comics. They really kept true to Lex Luthor and who he was, and the fact that he don't like Superman for all these reasons. He just can't stand him. He hates the fact that the people love him. He can't stand the fact that he's just this powerful, strong guy. He's just not with it at all. Again, this Superman was just a lot more kind. It was a lot more like it just wasn't as dark as Man of Steel was. You know, Zack Snyder Superman with Henry Cavill was a really dark Superman. You know, it had Zod, it had a lot of things going on. Then we had the Batman versus Superman, we had the Flash, and they kind of combined and compiled this whole universe together and made sense. And it was a lot of things that you could play off of that these heroes were doing that just made it epic and it was just made it exciting. This Superman, it just didn't feel as exciting. It just felt kind of boring. You know, there was a couple of decent scenes here and there, but to be honest with you, I'll probably only watch this Superman once and be done with it. And I was happy to see, you know, a lot of these characters just working together, interacting with each other. I mean, they had pretty good chemistry. The only thing I really didn't like too much in this movie was how certain things just didn't fit. You know, I felt like, again, if you're coming off the back of a movie like Man of Steel, certain things should have just went a little bit more together. If I was gonna say who did the best job in their role in this movie, I would just say Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, hands down, did a great job. Like, he was the Lex Luthor that we deserve. If you saw this Superman, let me know what you think. I would love to know how you feel about this movie. Again, I feel like it was an okay movie. Probably won't even watch it again, to be honest with you. It was decent, but, you know, again, Man of Steel, still my favorite Superman of all time. Thank you for watching. Let me know how you feel about the Superman movie. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Please like and subscribe and give me your thoughts and opinions on this movie. And again, guys, thank you, and I'll see you next time.